I think what we've seen is that matching gifts are really the biggest donation motivator. The reason that, when we think about this, why is that what we're seeing in the space? Why is the trend that we're seeing? Is donors obviously are giving to your organization because they want to have this impact. So that leads me to my first tip for success. You're going to want to activate matching gift mentions across each of your campaign pages. Moving on, though, to our next suggestion to take advantage of kind of this trend of matching gifts being a big donation motivator is to mention matching gifts within your donation appeals and ongoing communications. So my suggestions here are to use your email signatures, your LinkedIn posts, and of course, like other channels as well. I just always call out LinkedIn because we know a lot of, professionals are going to be on that platform. So it's a great place to market matching gifts. I'm happy to say that actually 60% of companies offer volunteer time off programs, which I think is just really huge and exciting to think about. But really why I think that's so exciting, and I know I hinted at this a little bit before, is that we know that nearly half of individuals stated that work commitments were their biggest barrier to volunteering, which I think makes a lot of sense, right? People have to be at work during the day, and that can make it difficult to find the time within their schedule to work with organizations or volunteer. Moving on, though, to those strategies for success, like I said, this is strikingly similar to what we discussed with matching gifts, which I think is a good thing. But just because we know that these programs are going to help your supporters overcome those barriers, make it more easy for them to get involved, you want to make sure that you mention these programs really prominently on your website. Moving on, though, I, of course, want to give you some examples of what this can look like in action. So we'll start with Atlanta Angels. I have this quote from them here where they explained that they used some of our volunteering tools just to identify companies near them that offered really expansive VTO programs. And that what they did is they used that information to go ahead and reach out to the company and coordinate an entire volunteering event with them. Moving on quickly to trend number 3. This is kind of a broad one, but bear with me here. What we see is that companies are kind of redefining some of the traditional expectations that surrounded workplace giving. And so, workplace giving is just evolving overall. I think what companies are realizing is that giving is pretty personal, right? A cause that's really important to me and appeals to me is not necessarily going to be the same cause that might resonate with you in that way, right? We all have slightly different values, experiences that kind of shape our giving preferences. And so while companies might have used to approach giving in a more kind of like group way, assuming that all employees wanted to donate to the same cause, same organization, I think they've started to stray away from that approach in favor of the idea that every person is going to have different choices and opinions. And so when it comes to how you can take advantage of those trends to kind of grow workplace giving success, first and foremost, I think you want to focus on driving visibility with employees because remember, workplace giving no longer requires you to have that super formal relationship with a company. The giving choice is often up to employees. So you want to be found, kind of known by employees. This little tip here for success is, of course, to make sure, that you're using all of the technology available to you to increase the success you see from these programs. So we know that many companies actually manage their workplace giving program through a third-party vendor. A few of those vendors, you might have heard of some well-known ones like Benevity, CyberGrants, Your Cause, right? Those are some of the big names, but so you can claim your profile on their website. And by doing that, you can increase visibility of your cause and make it really simple for employees to give to your organization. And then that's kind of one tip that we have with using tech and making sure you're up to date. But kind of in an effort to make the employee giving experience even more streamlined, select CSR platforms do integrate with Double the Donation actually to offer the ability for their employees to automatically send their matching gift request in from the confirmation page of a nonprofit's form. I think that's a huge game changer and eliminates a lot of the steps for donors. So make sure that you're kind of thinking about all the technology that's out there and trying to access that technology to really drive your donors to action and see the most success. Moving right along here for some examples of success. Here, I wanted to show you kind of what that auto submission I was just talking about looked like. Companies that offer auto submission, like I said, just allow their employees to automatically submit that gift from a nonprofit's website on the confirmation page. So just for trend number 4, I think employee influence is really driving the future of corporate giving. Like I've repeated throughout, companies want to promote the interests of their employees. And so, employee preferences, I think, are going to influence these employee programs like matching gift or volunteer grants. But employee preferences can also influence corporate donations as well. Companies are often eager to give more and do more with the organizations that their employees support. So I always recommend taking a deep dive into your employment data that you have on hand for your donors and really using that to source, new sponsorship opportunities, new partnership opportunities with companies.